Hello, fellow lights and light travelers. Welcome again. I'm so happy you're here this week. This week's message came through. It felt very much like love from the past and some things that it was meant to teach you and the process in which you're going through at this moment. So if this resonates, please do enjoy the reading. Lessons from Love. While you're here, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Enjoy your reading. Hello, fellow lights and light travelers. Welcome again to Light Journeys Tarot. I'm so excited that you're here with me, connecting your energy once more. I've gone ahead and, invited in my guides. I made sure to clear the space that only high vibrational energies and messages come through. Very excited to read this week. I've got the Heavenly Bodies Tarot that is newly released. I highly recommend checking out any work from Lily Ashwell in blue. I know that with a specific tarot work, they spent many, many years. I'm not affiliated at all. I just love connecting with tarot and, oracle books that are set forth with so much intention and love. So I truly feel like beautiful messages will come through just because of the intention and the care that's been put into this. And I'm very excited to read for you all today. As always, I like to caveat, if you're new here, this is a snapshot of current energies, right? And things change. Things can always change. Nothing is set in stone, right? We do come here to learn and to grow and evolve and learn specific messages, but that can, and those lessons can be taught to us in a multitude of ways, right? So know that you yourself have the ultimate power. And although I am reading a snapshot, take this as education, take this as entertainment, take what resonates and leave the rest, okay? And know that you yourself have the power to make the choices in your life for your greatest good. Set that intention that you're going to move forth from your heart space, trusting your intuition and making messages for the highest good of yourself and for all, right? And then just trust. So trust whatever inclination you're getting, as long as it's not fear-based and it's with love and it's with goodness in your heart, okay? All right, so with that being said, let's get into it. I'm very curious to see what messages come through this week. I'm excited to use this deck. Let's get into the Heavenly Bodies Tarot. I can speak. The Heavenly Bodies Tarot. All right, let's get into it. Okay, Spirit, what messages would like to come through? What message is wanting to come through for the collective this week? What message? What messages is coming forth from the Heavenly Bodies Tarot for the collective this week? My hands are so short, I have to shuffle sideways. I got small hands. Beautiful deck though, if you see. Beautiful. Alright, trusting the stop. We've got the Two of Cups. This artwork, these cards are beautiful. We've got the Hanged Man. And we've got the Hierophant. Absolutely gorgeous, 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 gorgeous artwork and aesthetic in these cards. All right, let's get into it. With the Two of Cups, you have things like love, wholeness, sacred union, right? The others reflecting one another, right? You have two, I don't want to say two halves, right? And that's emphasized within these cards. There is a wholeness and a wholeness that are meeting and, coming together in union, right? A shared connection, a receptiveness, a partnership, right? So we've got our past, present, and future. I'm going to lean in for a second. The first thing that draws me is this pouring in from a higher source, a higher, perhaps the whole of the universe, right, pouring in, and it's equally pouring into these parts. So the first place I'm drawn to when I'm thinking about this and where my heart is going with this is love, right? A connection with another being. So this could be this romantic love. This could be like a friendship bond. This could be a familial thing, right? But whatever's pouring in is something that is pouring both from a holier source into these two equally. So it's this equal care and nurturing and connection to the greater and all that is. I'm feeling a lot of like romantic partnership in this. So this could be someone previously in your life, or someone that's been in your life a long time, and you've built a connection with something that's poured in. And it feels like sometimes those sacred connections that exist beyond space and time, those connections that are through multiple lifetimes, multiple reincarnations, right? So this could be your soul family. This could be a soul connection of that source. And the reason, right, I'm saying that is because I'm pulled to that overall, like that pouring from above coming in, which feels more than like something that started within this lifetime and is fresh. It feels like a deeper connection, a deeper pull that's pulled into the both. Okay, next I want to say is I'm almost seeing a face. This looks like eyes, and this looks like a mouth. This looks like it's a face to me. So it almost feels like, you know, the namaste, like, you know, I see the beauty in me sees the beauty in you, like the connection in me, the God in me, the source in me sees the source in you. So it's this reflection of these two wholes. So perhaps a recognition in that person, or you had a recognition with someone, as this is the past setting, of something greater than, of something bigger than, of something more than, right? The awareness that you are connected to something greater. Let's see. I'm just sitting with it. I'm kind of feeling here, you know, a very heart-centric. So yeah, it feels love. And yes, love can take many forms, but I'm feeling like it feels like a romantic connection. And because of the blueness, I almost want to say, this is what I'm feeling with it. I'm feeling like a clarity, a clearness, a clear blue skies, right? It felt like breathing for the first time, like seeing fresh air, like understanding it. So perhaps this thing, this connection that came in was your first realization, that first connection, that first, you know, eyes meeting eyes and getting lost in the connection of the eyes and into the windows of the soul, and realizing there was this connection beyond space and time that kind of pulled you and made the rest of the world disappeared. And you realize that we are all, you know, all that you have is the now, and it is everything, and it is expansive, and it is timeless, and it is this portal to, you know, this love, this connection, this portal to all that is, because that's, you know, the main, if I would like to say the main, if not like the biggest portion of the universe is love, and it's that connectivity. So I feel like here I'm drawn to the eyes, right? And I'm seeing that connection. So perhaps you locked eyes with someone and the world went away and you realized that there was more. It was the first inclination, and that's first recognition, that first remembrance of the fact that there's a connection to the greater, to the whole, to the all, and it's pouring into each of us. And you realize in that instance it was pouring into both of you, but it's pouring into each and every single one of us. And there's a beauty in that. There is a beauty, and there's a fragility, and there's an eternalness in this, an infinity, and an infinite connection within this. Beautiful. Yeah, a spiritual mirror. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, well, that's a very strong past connection. with the Hanged Man, there is this, like they say, surrendering, right? So I feel like it's a change of perspective. I can speak today. A change of perspective, a surrendering to allow, right? So often with the pictures of the Hanged Man, as it's kind of seen here, you know, you've got the person that's kind of hanging on. So it's this, I almost want to say trust fall. Trust fall is what came into my head, like a trust fall, a trusting that the universe will meet you, a trusting, right? A changing a perspective, a connection, a surrendering to the all that is, the all that comes before and everything. So what's interesting is as I was pulling a romantic pull here, it perhaps seems like there is a changed perspective to that connection from your past. And there is a calling forth of a surrender to what it was, or maybe the expectations of what you were trying to place upon it. And that's very human to place ideals of what we feel like something should be. But there is a invitation from the universe to allow a release, to surrender to a review of what that was and what it meant to you and your connection to it. I'm drawn to the DNA. And I'm drawn to the infinity, like this infinite snake eating its tail, going over and over again. So it almost feels like this is what I'm feeling. This is what I'm feeling. If yes, this was awakening. This connection broke you open in a way that felt brand new and extremely familiar and ancient all at the same time. And in this, there is a surrender to trusting that if that relationship did not manifest itself the way maybe you expected within this lifetime, there is a connection to the infinite, right? You were all connected, and perhaps you'll be connected again in a different way. You'll play, we come back and we are reincarnated and we get to play different characters in different plays. So perhaps this story played out a certain way in this lifetime and you both took lessons from it and you both learned and grew and evolved. And maybe in another lifetime, right, in that infinite loop, perhaps there will be a new, because I'm going with snake and that renewal and that infinity, I'm thinking a shedding of its skin of this old, perhaps play in which you both were cycling, and there is a release of that old way of interacting, and there will be a newness that comes through in this connection, in this infinite connection, because there is an infinite connection here. It feels like it's something deeper. I don't know if it's soul family or, just some part of source, this soul that you saw reflected and mirrored in you. They are connected to you intrinsically. So there is no disconnect, and there will be no disconnect. But perhaps in future lifetimes, right? And although this is present, this is showing that there is a changing perspective here that's currently taking place, and this shedding and this letting go to let in what will be whatever future ways in which this will express itself. There's an evolution, this DNA, this upgrade to not only your current vessels, your bodies, right? But also to the ways in which you and that soul, or that mirror of that soul, interact. So this will bring forth a newness, right? So there's this evolution. It's almost like scientific. There is this chemistry, right? That's coming into it. That's re-alchemizing, and it's changing the ways in which you interact in that infinite dance that is happening between you and that individual. And I want to say it's fresh. Like I'm drawn here and it almost feels like it's like fresh air, but it feels like a burst of light that's coming forth, like perhaps a chain that was going on, an infinite loop, something that was needing to be, what is that word? That had been progressively worked through, that had been changing, has changed and taken new form. So in this present time, while this change is taking place, in the future, this will, perhaps in this lifetime, perhaps in different lifetimes, there will be a newness to the interaction, because the loop that was within the two of you, you and that individual, has changed, has evolved, has been alchemized and mutated and grown, right? Yeah, and I'm drawn to this face. I feel like it's looking towards the future. So this current process that's taking place is bringing forth a new awareness and a new way of seeing and connecting in this future space. That's beautiful. And all because of the surrendering that's happening, the release of the expectations and the allowance of that alchemical process to take place and change in this current moment, right? Releasing and allowing. Beautiful. The Hierophant is a teacher. Obviously, sometimes a spiritual mentor and stuff. As this is the future, this feels like you are taking the lessons that were learned from this, and you are either growing and then thus teaching because you've learned and you've grown from this, or the love is the teacher that has come to you and is teaching you so that you can evolve into this future space. Let me connect with it for a second to see. Getting all my gem stuff on here. Let's see. The first thing, right, I was drawn to multiple things. Right here, I'm looking at the I guess the bowl, so the skull's eye. Forgive my phone over there, going off. Feels like the third eye, so there's this calling, this knowledge, this connection, this, I feel it like right here. I'm feeling it right here, so it's almost like it. So right, I when we talk about this first card, right, I talked about the eyes and the connection, and it almost feels like it hit you in your heart and right here in your third eye. It awakened you. So not only did you see with your two physical eyes, but you saw and your third eye was awakened in this connection. Wow. So it's taking you into this space. And then I'm hearing right here, there's the story of the love. It's really cute. Okay, the first thing that's coming into my head, right, is they will tell stories of our love, right, through the ages and all this stuff. And then I'm thinking of the movie The Never-Ending Story, right? There's this awareness, this connection. There's this knowledge that comes in. You know, they're like, I was with you, the boy in the library. I've been with you this whole time. So there's this knowledge of this universe that is witnessing this love story that's played out. And it, you know, love is manifesting itself in so many different ways. So this could be like, you know, familial or friendship. This feels like a romantic love, but whatever it is, right? There's this love story that's being told, and it feels like it's being woven across the stars, through the timelines, and it's manifesting in all its different ways with this partner that you trust, that you guys are able to come into one another's lives in multiple incarnations and teach one another so that you can grow and evolve. And then when you are no longer embodied and you are in that soul space, you are able to look back at this story of your love and how it's grown you both through the times, through the years, and how that beautiful story and that beautiful dance that you all have woven together is affecting the world and, you know, the frequency of the planet. So it's this beautiful thing, and also it's evolving you. Gorgeous. Let me see. And you know what I'm drawn here is like the reflection. So it feels like this love story is a reflection of the greater. So this dance that you've gone on with this individual, it's a micro and it's a macro. It's inside and it's outside. It's as above, so below, as within, so without, right? So this experience that you're going through is this beautiful, I want to say explosion, this reflection, this prismatic rippling that's shooting out through the universe, because it's this heartbeat, boom, 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 boom. It's this story, it's this dance, it's this, connection that is eternal. And it's the story that's being told and the wisdom that you are now gaining because you've had this. And now, it awoke something within you so that it's transformed. And now you've got that third eye awake, so you're able to see it and surrender it needing to be a certain thing, because now there is a knowledge that comes in that it was beautiful. It was beautiful. And even if it was short-lived in this lifetime, it is something that alchemically changed you, and that it is something that you've grown from and they've grown from, and thus it's been a growing experience for the universe. It's been a beautiful story that the universe got to experience and witness, right? It's that never-ending story. You are part of the story and you're also the reader, So you're reading the book, but you're also experiencing the book, and you're also telling the book, right? It's this beautiful alchemical chemistry, DNA mishmashing entanglement of love that is just the frequency of the universe, and it's lighting the way through the cosmos. It's like the birth of a new star. The birth of a new star is the love. Every single time love recognizes itself, it feels like it bursts forth a new star in the sky. This is beautiful. All right. What a beautiful story. What a beautiful experience that you have had in the past, that you're going through, and what a beautiful wisdom that you are birthing and taking back to the universe because of these experiences that you are having. Absolutely gorgeous. Okay, I'm going to get into my oracle cards. I like to pull 2 cards to see what else Spirit wants to bring forth in this reading. All right, the first oracle deck that I'm pulled to is the Empath's Oracle. So let's see what message further wants to come through for the collective from the Empath's Oracle. All right, Spirit. These are all about the same size cards that I'm shuffling with today, and I have tiny hands. Okay, Spirit, what else would like to come through for this collective? What other message? Ooh. Okay, I'm going to trust it. I'm going to trust it. I don't normally have flyouts, but that flew out, so there we go. It says, releasing emotional weight. All right, well, that sounds about right. And I'm going to say it goes here with the surrender. It even kind of fell here. Gorgeous. Okay, releasing emotional weight. I'm also going to say, before I read the Oracle deck, which I do like to, honor the Oracle creators and the intention that they put in the book, so I do like to stick to their meanings. But I want to state here, it almost feels like there's a release here. This says emotional weight. I'm almost thinking there's a mental weight too, like thoughts that are needing to be released into it, to kind of clear away any, what's the word I'm looking for? Any dissonance, any static, any muddying the noise, to clear the signal. So there's a release of, I feel like, thoughts, and then this says also emotionals, weight. So let's read the card and see what it says. And I feel like that goes with here, with that surrender. So I'm going to place this right here. All right. Okay, releasing emotional weight, separating emotional buildup from the anxious mind. Okay, that's the first thing that I was saying. It felt like mind there. Thank you, Spirit, for the confirmation. Activating acts of cleansing, releasing, and returning to balance, taking a step back, breathing, and coming back to center. So I feel like this is that invitation currently, presently. This feels like that's part of that hanged man surrender. There's an invitation to release, to cleanse, to, whatever with this thing in the past. So the imagery from the woman in the picture, all ballast falls away. This image symbolizes the ability of inner purification and its necessity in order to move forward with new strength. The blue tone of this image can be seen to represent emotional buildup and the strength it takes to emotionally purify on a regular basis. So, with this connection, with this, what this was, right? There's invitation to release and to reframe and to allow that alchemization of what was, and release the surrender and the connection to I needed it to be this specific way, and just allow and trust and cleanse, right? That build up both emotionally and mentally. Deeper meaning. Sweetie, it's time to release some of the burden you've been carrying. Empaths pick up so much emotional energy from outside sources that we have no choice to release it if we wish to stay balanced. At times, this is a matter of survival. As many cards in this deck affirm, we empaths are deeply emotional people. We can't blame all of our afflictions on the emotions of others, but we can indeed acknowledge that some of our own emotional weight becomes compounded and amplified when we internalize external emotional effects. At the base level, this card and its accompanying painting encourage us to release pent-up emotional energy we are carrying, because this is part of our healing process. So it is acknowledging, right? There was something that impacted you. There was this thing, but you're being asked to release any residue, anything weighing you down from it, right? To cleanse, to allow, to... And that can come with, and I'm sure it'll say here, but it will come with things like, meditation, clearing your mind, journaling. I always loved writing poetry when I was a kid and growing up, and I really do need to get back into it. But this journaling to allow your emotions, right? Release them, to acknowledge them, to be aware of them, to come into that awareness so that you can, alchemize and change that connection to it, and to trust, right? All things are eternal, so it's okay. It's okay. It's good for us empaths to remember that laughter is an incredible medicine for dissolving flustered mental states. These mental states, of course, play in tandem with a person's emotional states and the energy they are carrying. Even when it feels too hard or even pointless to invoke laughter into your life, trust this card's message that genuine laughter is an opportunity to create this sort of healing. Whether you choose to watch some stand-up comedy or a sitcom, or whether you surround yourself with ultra-positive friends, remember that it simply does no good to take life too seriously. Let's enjoy it while we're here. And then this has a suggestion for action. It says, the method for accomplishing emotional release is, of course, different for everyone and is different for every empath. Remember, take what resonates, leave the rest. You are the ultimate judge of your decisions. Choose from your heart. Only follow things for the greatest good. Release what doesn't resonate. Trust yourself. Okay. If you feel as though you resonate with gemstones, hello, it would be wise to channel your emotional weight, regardless of source, into a stone that is renowned for capturing excessive emotional energy. This can also be accomplished with a simple rock. In either case, the stone should be thrown into a river or a body of moving water after the energy has been released into the stone. The metaphysical process of releasing emotional energy into any object, stone, spell bag, thoughts written on paper, or whatever, like I said, poetry, or just writing, journaling, sharing your thoughts, a diary, right? The process, the metaphysical process of releasing energy into any object is different for everyone. It can be healing to cry and to release tears, which tends to be the most effective way for an empath to release excessive emotional energy. This is because tears are not only aligned with the element of water, but carry psychological and physiological release while tears are being shed. The act of simply focusing excessive emotional energy goes a long way. An object or a physical anchor is not even needed to make this happen. When all else fails, surround those vibes with a serious blast of electric light. As a human, you have instant access to astral and ethereal light. In a process of solitary meditation, it is possible to project those thoughts into a cloud of white light floating above you. Allow it to encompass and dissolve that excess emotional energy. That's beautiful. This literally right here looks like white light above the head. Wow. Thank you, Spirit. This is the confirmation, right? Okay, as a human, you have instant access to astral and ethereal light. In a process of solitary meditation, it is possible to project those thoughts into a cloud of white light floating above you. Allow it to encompass and dissolve that excessive emotional energy, and visualize the cloud drifting away. This is not a heal-all, but it is sure as heck starts the process of emotional releasing. Visualization works on a psycho-spiritual level and can be massively healing in numerous ways. Naturally, as empaths are attuned to the water element, something like a bath, a shower, a dip in the ocean, or swimming in a safe area of river are also tools to aid in the process of casting out emotional heaviness that simply does not serve one's spirit at this time. And with all of those things, yes, always do so safely and with all that. Beautiful. Wow, this was confirmation from Spirit. Thank you, Spirit, as always, for confirming. Yes, this is an invitation in the present to release any emotional residue, build up thoughts connected to this past connection, to allow, right? A cleansing, a balancing, a reconnecting, a clarity, right? And there's this trust, there's a surrender, a trust to know that things are eternal. And this dance is going to be danced probably many, many times in many, many different ways. So just to allow it to be okay and to come back to center yourself and to realign yourself and to know all is well, and to release that, right? To alchemize that, to move through that. Beautiful. All right. The next deck I was pulled to is the Wisdom of the Hidden Realms. So let's read the Wisdom of the Hidden Realms and get into it and see what message wants to come forth. All right. Spirit, what else would like to come through for this collective? What else would like to come forth for this collective? Thank you for the messages so far, Spirit. What else would like to come forth for this collective? Okay, I'm going to trust the stop. The Spirit Whisperer, divine guidance and higher knowing. Oh, this is gorgeous. I almost feel like this goes here. This feels like with that Hierophant, this higher knowing, this guidance. I'm going to put this right here. Sacred knowledge, embodied wisdom. Let's see. I want to move this over. Although it looks so pretty right now. I want to make a little space so that this shows up. And I kind of want to put it like that. Yes. All right, perfect. Yeah, okay. Okay, this came out upright, so I'm not going to read the challenger. I'm only going to read the ally. All right. As an ally, the Spirit Whisperer comes to you heralding the miraculous and inspired. She whispers guidance from the divine through her higher senses so that you can hear her wisdom and know her love for you. She is committed to helping you intuit the right next action and steers you away from trouble. The Spirit Whisperer keeps you inspired to move forward, always knowing, just in time, the correct next step. Oh, that's beautiful. So this is with this knowledge that's coming in. It's guiding you into that future, into the next thing to do. Once all this is cleansed and you're realigned where you're going next in these actions, right? And your next purposes in life. She guides you to fulfill your highest purpose. When she appears, it's a sign of inspired ideas with continual action, which leads to success. That's a very good omen. If your question is about a relationship, the Spirit Whisperer speaks of soul connections, past lives, and great learning through mutual mirroring. Spirit. I'm sorry. Do you see? Do you see how the universe comes through? Do you see how Spirit comes through to get you these messages and reaffirms as we read and pull? Spirit is like, yes, I am confirming I am here with you. Yes, you had that knowledge. Yes, there was a connection. Yes, in this moment, you're going to release your connection to what was within this physical embodiment, in this incarnation, to know, right? There's past lives, there's soul connection, and there's greater learning through mirroring. Come on. Come on. That's beautiful. Like, come on. I talk about this being seen and learned and experienced, right? This story that's being read by the universe. Come on. Come on. Chills. I love it. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. She will whisper how long, how short, how deep, and how sweet the relationship can be. There were soul bargains made even before you both were born here, and an exploration is in order. You may move forward, but keep listening to the spirit whisper for the lessons that the vulnerability of love brings. Ooh, wow. Yeah, to me this feels like a love story. And what a gorgeous love story that is spanning through times. And even if things didn't play out necessarily the way you want it to in this lifetime, lessons were learned from it. And there's a soul connection, right? There's bonds that were created. There's contracts that came in. Perhaps you guys wanted to play out this particular, this particular, what's the word I'm looking for? Arc, narrative, storyline with each other. What would happen in this lifetime if we meet and our souls entangle and then we go separate ways and, live separate lives, but we inspire one another and then, we move forth and we'll find each other again in another lifetime and we'll grow and we'll learn from it. I trust you to bring me this lesson. I trust you to bring me this lesson. Okay, now what's being brought to is the awareness, right? That third eye that opened, that instant recognition of that past life that was there. And then now learning to cleanse and release, to alchemize, to grow, to bring in that wisdom of those next steps and to trust that infinite, that infinity, that story of love that's played out through the cosmos and will show itself in various forms, right? It's as within, so without, as above, so below. It is all. All is love. Love is all. And what is this beautiful mirroring, this beautiful dance, this beautiful connection that is infinite and that is eternal. And it is okay to perhaps release the residue from this lifetime that it might have brought, because you're meant to go forth with the wisdom and the love and the clarity, and see how it plays out perhaps in a different lifetime or later in this life. Who knows? I don't know how this story is playing out, but lead from your heart, trust the universe, work on centering, work on clearing, work on trusting, and you will be guided because you are guided, because the universe is here guiding you. The divine forces are here to guiding you for love, for light, and yeah, just for beauty, for this beautiful experience and this new experience of love, or this remembered experience of love. I don't know. At the end of the day, there's love. It's beautiful. And Spirit is here for you and is guiding you and is following and nurturing you and experiencing with you. So trust your heart. Perhaps journal, perhaps go for a walk, perhaps, a bath, a shower, if you like they said, going for a swim in a pool. If you know how to swim, do so safely. If you don't, be safe at all times, right? And write and connect and release and cleanse and trust. Just trust, 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 trust. Yes, this love was real and it was a mirroring and it was a lesson, and it's okay. It's okay of what was and what maybe perhaps is no longer, but it still left something in you. It changed something in you. It taught you something, and you're going to move forward into the future with this knowledge, with this story that was written, and perhaps again in another lifetime it'll play out in a different way and you'll recognize each other once more, and it's beautiful. So to soulmates, to love, to light. All right, I send you all lots of light, lots of support. I wish you the best on your journey. I know you've got this. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for what the next chapters hold. You're obviously evolving and becoming more knowledgeable about this infinite universe, and that third eye is opening and your heart is open, and it's just beautiful. So I hope to see you all again at my next reading. If you do want a personal reading from me, please do reach out through my Etsy or my Ko-Fi /Coffee, whatever it's called. I never know the name of it. And if not, please give me a thumbs up, a like, share, so that other people can find these messages if they need it. And yeah, and if you can't afford it, just be here. I do free readings, collective readings, and sometimes pick a pile of readings, so that Spirit has a way to get its messages to you when you need them. But trust that you know the way, and trust that your heart and your intuition is also guiding you, and there's forces with you. If there can't be more plain than this, I don't know what else there is, you know. It's just the truth. The truth is all is well, all is together, and all is love. So, all right. Sending you lots of light, and thanks again for being here. See you next time. Bye.